2 trillion euros. The European Union's next 7-year budget, and the largest it's ever proposed. The European Commission calls it the most ambitious in its history, which raises the two questions almost everyone asks. Ambitious to do what? And the budget increase is based on what? This isn't about whether the number is too big or too small. It's about a word, and where that word landed. Listen to what ambitious is attached to, not to a result, to the budget itself. The size of the spending is the ambition, but ambition is normally the thing you're trying to reach, the outcome. Here, it's the amount you're committing. The aspiration has slid off the result and onto the cost. Anywhere else money gets raised, this works differently. A company that wants funding shows a return. Here's what you get back. Nobody calls that forecast ambitious. They state it, and then it gets checked. Ambition lives on the return side because that's the side you can test. Move it to the spending side, and it can't be. So why can the word ambition move the spending with no one stopping it? One difference. The people funding a company can leave, sell, refuse, walk away, and a company that keeps spending without returning something eventually runs out of them. That exit is what forces a return to exist. Now, the EU budget. The people funding it are the member states, and underneath them, the people. And they can't walk away. There's no selling your share, no moving your money to a rival Europe. The exit that forces every company to name a return simply isn't there, and when no one can leave, no one has to be shown what they get back. Not greed, not ideology. The structure just has no break. Once you see that, this stops being a story about one budget. Watch any institution over time. The objectives grow, the costs grow, and you'll struggle to name the last time one of them announced it needed less budget. Not because the people inside are greedy, because nothing in the structure rewards shrinking the whole. Pieces inside can fall. This budget even cuts farming, but the total still climbs. That's the tell. The parts can lose a turf war, the envelope only grows. Call it the ratchet. It turns in a single direction, and it never turns back on its own. It reverses only when something outside forces it. A crisis, a creditor, a rule imposed from above. Never a quiet decision to ask for less. Which is why the 2 trillion arrives justified the way it does. Not by what it returns, but by what Europe faces. Sovereignty, competitiveness, resilience, security. The increase isn't priced against a result. It's argued from a list of threats. And threats, unlike returns, never have to be paid back and never come up short. And it isn't that no one measures anything. Europe measures constantly. Reports, reviews, targets, audits. But a report tells you what happened to the money. A return tells you whether it was worth it and whether there should be more. That second number is the one nobody has to produce. So the honest answer to where we started, ambitious to do what, is this. You'll be shown how the money was spent. What you won't be shown is a result that, if it's missed, sends the money back or makes the next ask smaller. The performance gets reviewed. The ask only grows. Ambition is supposed to be the thing you can be held to. Here, the spending is measured and never held to it. That's the shape underneath the headline. One signal, one read. Why this happens to every institution, not just this budget, is the whole of our power ladder explainer. The pattern this is one instance of. Watch that next and subscribe.
That's the shape underneath the headline. One signal, one read. Why this happens to every institution, not just this budget, is the whole of our power ladder explainer. The pattern this is one instance of. Watch that next and subscribe.